and had spent her entire life sacrificing for her only son, William. She was a single mother who worked tirelessly, ensuring he had the best education, the finest clothes, and every opportunity she never had. She worked multiple jobs, often skipping meals so that William could have the best. But she never expected that her ultimate act of love would become her greatest betrayal. William had met Celine, a woman from a wealthy family who had high expectations. The wedding was to be grand, luxurious, and nothing short of perfection. Celine and her family insisted that a high-status wedding was necessary to secure William's future in their elite social circle. William convinced Anne that selling her only home, the house she had raised him in, would prove her dedication to his future and grant them the wedding Celine and her family desired. Trusting her son blindly, Anne agreed, believing that she was helping him step into a life she had always dreamed for him. The wedding was nothing short of spectacular. Lavish decorations, an extravagant venue, gourmet meals, and designer outfits, it was the kind of wedding that people talked about for years. Anne watched her son beam with pride, thinking she had done the right thing, but the day after the wedding, Anne expected to move in with the newlyweds until she could find a new place. She arrived at their luxurious apartment, suitcase in hand, her heart full of love and expectations. But instead of a warm welcome, she was met with cold glares. "You can't stay here, Anne," Celine said, her tone dripping with disdain. "This is our home, and we need our privacy." William, the boy she had raised and loved beyond words, stood beside his wife in silence, his eyes avoiding hers. Anne felt her chest tighten as she looked at him, hoping for an explanation, a reason for this sudden change of heart. "Will?" Anne's voice cracked, searching his face for any trace of the son she knew. "Maybe you can stay with a friend for a while," he muttered, shifting uncomfortably. Tears filled Anne's eyes as she realized the truth. She was no longer needed, with nowhere to go, and wandered the streets, spending her nights in shelters and cheap motels. Her money quickly dwindled, and the once proud mother found herself surviving on scraps and the kindness of strangers. Every night, she replayed William's words in her head, struggling to understand how the boy she had raised could abandon her so easily. One fateful evening, Anne stood outside a small diner, shivering in the cold, when she saw a young woman struggling with a group of unruly men. Instinct took over, and despite her frailty, Anne rushed to her aid, scaring the men away. The young woman, Rebecca, was grateful beyond words. "You just saved me," Rebecca said, shaking. "I can't just leave you here. Please, come with me." Anne hesitated but, with no other option, accepted the offer. Rebecca took Anne to her home, where she introduced her to her father, Leonardo. Unlike the others who had abandoned Anne, Leonardo showed her immediate kindness. He was strong, protective, and had an aura of authority. She soon learned he was not just any man, he was an influential billionaire who had built his empire from the ground up. Leonardo listened to Anne's story with a quiet intensity, his eyes darkening with each word. For the first time in a long time, Anne felt heard, seen, and valued. He offered her a place to stay, urging her to rest and heal from the emotional and physical toll of her abandonment. As days turned into weeks, Leonardo and Anne grew close. He stood by her side when William and Celine ridiculed her, making it clear that she was not alone anymore. For the first time in her life, Anne had someone who fought for her, who saw her worth beyond what she could give. Then, the most shocking revelation of all came. Rebecca, the woman Anne had saved, was not just a stranger. She was her long-lost daughter. Anne's heart nearly stopped when Leonardo revealed the truth. Years ago, during her darkest time, and had been forced to give up a daughter she was too poor to care for. That daughter had found her way back to her, in the most unexpected of ways. Tears streamed down Anne's face as she embraced Rebecca, realizing that fate had brought them together for a reason. Rebecca had spent years searching for her birth mother, never knowing that one moment of kindness would lead her to the very woman she had longed for, but their journey wasn't over yet. Determined to reclaim her dignity, Anne, with Leonardo's backing, confronted William and Celine. No longer the broken woman they had cast aside, she stood tall, exposing their selfishness and betrayal. The life they had built on deceit and greed began to crumble. Celine's family, horrified by the truth, withdrew their financial support, leaving the couple in a crisis. William, who had always relied on his mother's sacrifices, found himself utterly alone and, however, had moved on. With Rebecca by her side and Leonardo's unwavering support, she stepped into a new chapter, one filled with love, redemption, and the second chance she never thought she'd get with Leonardo, and discovered a love she had never known. It was a love built on mutual respect, companionship, and deep understanding. Together, they built a home filled with laughter and warmth, something Anne had once believed was beyond her reach. William eventually tried to reach out, but Anne, though forgiving, knew better than to allow him back into her life unconditionally. Some betrayals leave scars too deep to ignore, and she had finally learned to put herself first and had spent her whole life giving. Now, she was finally receiving the love and respect she deserved. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more amazing stories like this.